You call their name and they don't look up. You reach out and they turn away. When a child misses early milestones, like making eye contact or returning a smile, it triggers a very specific kind of parental anxiety. During the first 3 years of life, a child's brain is highly malleable. This neuroplasticity means the brain is rapidly building its foundational wiring. Intervening during this window is exponentially more effective than attempting to rewire established behaviors later in life. This diagram illustrates the immediate choice parents face when they first identify these developmental delays. The path you choose now determines the resources available to your child for the next decade. Choosing to wait and see if they outgrow the delay leads to a significant structural barrier. Without a clinical diagnosis, your child is effectively excluded from the early intervention ecosystem, losing access to specialized therapists during their most formative years. Pursuing an immediate evaluation changes the trajectory. A formal diagnosis provides the legal documentation necessary to trigger state-funded support and professional intervention, connecting your family to a network of specialists. Choosing to pause for a few months feels like a neutral option. In reality, it is an active decision to forfeit the most valuable developmental window your child will ever have. The moment you receive that diagnosis and begin searching for answers online, you encounter a massive volume of conflicting advice and unproven theories. One pervasive myth is virtual autism, the claim that heavy screen time causes the disorder. While excessive device use can impact attention and behavior, there is zero clinical evidence that an iPad causes the neurological wiring associated with autism. This is not the first time external factors have been falsely blamed. In the 1940s, the medical community promoted the refrigerator mother theory, devastating families by claiming that a lack of maternal warmth caused the condition. The current clinical consensus is that autism spectrum disorder is a complex, largely genetic condition. It is a biological reality that exists entirely independent of your parenting style or alternative medicine theories. Spending your limited emotional energy researching debunked causes takes time away from implementing evidence-based therapies that can actually improve your child's daily functioning. After a diagnosis, you are presented with a list of acronym-heavy therapies. Determining which ones to prioritize is a complex resource allocation problem for your family. This matrix breaks down the 3 primary clinical therapies based on what they target and how much effort they require from you at home. First is applied behavior analysis, or ABA. This data-driven approach uses rewards to encourage positive behaviors and reduce harmful ones. While effective, it often requires up to 40 hours of clinic time a week and a high level of reinforcement from parents. Next is speech and language therapy. For nonverbal children, this may involve an AAC device, a tablet that generates speech, or PECS, which is a picture exchange communication system, where children use physical images to make requests. Success depends on the entire family adopting this communication system at home. Finally, occupational therapy, or OT, focuses on fine motor skills and sensory processing. This helps children manage overwhelming inputs like bright lights or loud noises, which often requires you to physically adapt your home environment. These therapies are specialized tools rather than passive treatments. Without intense, consistent parental participation to help the child use these skills in the real world, clinical progress will remain confined to the doctor's office. Eventually, the focus shifts from the medical clinic to the public school system. In this institutional environment, social and behavioral expectations increase significantly within a rigid, standardized framework. You will need an IEP, or Individualized Education Program. This is a legally binding contract that specifies the exact accommodations, therapies, and classroom supports the school must provide for your child. To secure an effective IEP, you must act as an aggressive project manager. Document every single behavioral incident, log all communications with teachers, and provide data to justify requests. Public schools operate on finite budgets, which means legally mandated support is rarely offered voluntarily. You must be prepared to demand these services and back them up with your own documentation. The public school system rarely adapts to an autistic student on its own. Securing an equitable education depends entirely on the parent's ability to persistently document needs and confidently demand specific classroom accommodations.
Managing behavior at home requires a strategy for where to spend your limited energy. This chart plots parental effort against daily impact to help you prioritize interventions. Visual schedules and routines fall into the high-impact, low-effort quadrant. Displaying pictures of the day's events creates a predictable environment that lowers your child's anxiety. Behavioral extinction is a high-impact but high-effort strategy, involving completely ignoring attention-seeking behaviors. This is difficult because of the extinction burst, a period where the child escalates the behavior to get your attention before the habit finally breaks. Policing harmless repetitive behaviors, or stimming, is a low-impact, high-effort task. Hand flapping and rocking are crucial self-regulation tools. Forcing them to stop requires constant correction with almost no benefit. Establishing a stable home environment involves accommodating a child's specific neurological needs, rather than expending energy trying to enforce neurotypical standards. While much of the focus is on the child, the physical and emotional toll on the parent is significant and often overlooked. You're a full-time medical coordinator, a legal advocate, and a behavioral therapist, on top of standard duties. Maintaining a functioning family unit over the long term requires integrating respite care and support groups as essential parts of the broader treatment plan. An autism diagnosis is the beginning of a lifelong marathon of resource management. The single most critical factor in your child's success is a caregiver who is protected from burning out.